Does this look familiar? Screens with broken glass, spidered glass. You know, how come so many people are walking around with broken iPhone screens? Well, let me tell you. So accidental damage, like a cracked screen, isn't covered under Apple's standard warranty. And so if you don't have Apple Care or a pretty good insurance policy, you're stuck paying the cost out of your own pocket. Now, even Apple Care will cost you $79 in fees to replace your screen. The bottom line is, dropping your iPhone can be really expensive. But the good news is you can fix it yourself. So why would you want to fix it yourself? There's 3 reasons. The first reason is that you can save a lot of money not paying somebody to do it for you and not paying somebody to go out and buy the parts for you. The second reason is it's really not as hard as you might think it is. And the third reason is you're going to feel really good about yourself once you've finished the job. So why wouldn't you want to do it yourself? Well, first of all, if your phone is still under warranty, if you open it up, it's going to void the entire thing. So you better check on the status of your warranty, see if it's expired. If it is, feel free to start fixing. If it's not, you better have somebody professional do it or authorized. So another reason why you wouldn't want to fix it yourself is if you're close to an upgrade, or if you already have one available, why not just wait to get a new phone? Also, you do assume a little bit of risk if you do it yourself. So there's some small parts inside your iPhone. There's some slightly fragile parts inside that if you lose anything or you break anything, you're going to be on the hook for it yourself. That being said, I'm going to do my best to show you the right way to do it and take you step by step so it's easy for you and you don't make any mistakes. If you follow instructions, it's a lot like putting together Legos. So let's get started, shall we? So the folks at iFixit sent us this replacement screen kit, and it's for the iPhone 5C, which is the one that we have broken. Now the iPhone 5, the iPhone 5S, and the iPhone 5C all use a similar repair process and parts, although you're going to have to make sure that you get a proper screen for each phone. But the process is similar enough that even if you don't have an iPhone 5C, the iPhone 5, it's going to be close enough that this video should be helpful for you. Also, same is true with the 5S. So this is what the part looks like, and this is what you should get. So personally, I've actually had a really good experience with iFixit. All their parts are new and they come back by warranty, plus the box is printed with encouraging words on the front. Anyway, you can find new screens, used screens, knockoff screens, refurbished screens all over the internet at places like Amazon and eBay, and then there's some other parts retailers that you can find them at. I've also used Repairs Universe. The first screen that they sent me was a dud and it didn't work, but to be fair to them, they sent me a new screen that worked when I installed it. You're gonna need some tools. At the bare minimum, here's what you're gonna have to have. The kit that I got from iFixit includes all of the parts and tools that you'll need. But I recommend that you have a few additional things because it's going to make the whole job a lot easier. And here we go. 5-point pentalobe screwdriver. 00 Phillips head screwdriver. Plastic suction cup. And a plastic pry tool. I've seen people use guitar picks instead of this, but this one works probably better. Pair of tweezers. A grounded wrist strap to prevent electrostatic discharge, and a heat source like a hairdryer or a heat gun. So I'm going to remove the 2 bottom screws first. Now it'll help to have a magnetic mat, or at the very least, some sort of piece of paper to keep track of all your screws. iFixit sent me over this magnetic mat that I can write on with a whiteboard pen. Next step is to pull the screen off. Now this is where you want to be a little bit gentle and you're going to need to use this pry tool. When you get it undone, don't just yank it off back because it's still connected at the back of the phone right here by some ribbon wire. And the ribbon wire can be a little bit fragile, so you don't want to just rip it off. Here, you're going to want to disconnect these ribbon wires, and to do that you're going to have to take off this metal plate. Now you can take this guy off. Right there. Okay, so now all that's holding the screen to the actual phone are 3 ribbon cables connected right here. There's 1, 2, 3. So now the old screen is detached, and you can put the bottom of the phone aside for now. Before we can just put the new screen onto the old phone, there's a couple parts that we're going to have to remove and replace onto the new screen. The home button, the microphone assembly, and the light and proximity sensor, which is basically the front-facing camera. Those are going to have to get removed and put onto the new replacement screen. So I'm going to start with the earpiece. This cover plate comes right off. This is the ear speaker. The next step is to pull off the front-facing camera. I'm going to gently pry off this little cable right there, like so. It's glued down to the phone, but it's not super strong. This is where the hairdryer or the heat source comes in handy. It loosens up the glue a little bit. So you pry that off, you can pull it back. I'm going to take off this metal backing plate now, and this is held together by screws right here, right here, right here, right here, and then one right there. Pull this guy off. Set it aside for now. And actually, that we can put on the back of a new screen. So I'm going to peel off this orange backing tape. It's purple on some of them, but this one is orange. And like a glove. Now I'm actually going to screw this back in now. And now I'm going to reassemble the top camera and earpiece. This little sensor, proximity sensor, gets threaded into a hole right there. All right, let's put the microphone back on. Now I'm going to put the home button assembly from the bottom of the old screen onto the bottom of the new screen. I'm going to pull off the home button assembly here, and it is glued to the frame. So this is where you're going to want to heat it up a little bit. Now there's another piece to this too, which is the actual button, which you can just press on the back, and it'll pop out just like that. It's very lightly adhered. Now we're going to put this button, the home button, back to the front frame. You want to make sure that it's lined up so that the square is perpendicular to the rest of the frame. Now I'm going to put the home button assembly back on. 3 ribbon cables, 1, 2, 3, that we're going to need to connect in order. Now these snap into place really easily, so don't force it. Got to line it up right, and they'll just pop right back into place. Now we need to put the cover plate back on. That's going to go right there. Okay, I'm about to pop this thing back into place. Again, no need to force it because it should just go right back in. Now, before we screw it back together, we're going to turn it on to test to make sure it works. And voila! I also want to test the camera, the front-facing camera, to make sure it's all aligned. So I'm going to flip this around. And there, everything's working. Bam, peel the plastic off. Good as new. And there you have it. You can check out Komando.com to find an article that gives you kind of a step-by-step how-to of how I did it, and also links to all the parts that I used.